So another story we do want to hit on, and this came out this morning. My buddy Mark Raimondi over at ESPN. The UFC is going to use the program Prohibit to expand its compliance with gambling regulations by catching fighters and other around the sport trying to place bets. This was announced. So basically, it's athletes, coaches, employees, and officials, judges, things like that. Anybody that could have any sort of effect or have any sort of inside knowledge whatsoever on any of this stuff would be flagged by regulated bodies and organizations. It goes on to say, designed to safeguard sports integrity and ensure the adherence to state-specific regulations. Their cutting-edge technology provides a secure and transparent method for sports properties, both professional and collegiate, and sportsbook operators to ensure that athletes, coaches, and league, school, administrative staff, etc., are compliant with the intricate web of state regulations that govern sports betting activities. Now, this comes on, Adam, after we did see the UFC get hit with something that, look, it's a good thing that they found it. There was a coach that had some inside information. He was using that inside information to pass along to other people. Other people were taking that information and using it to get in some advantage bets and things like that, which obviously, as we well know, is just not cool, right? At all. And in singular sports like that, it's going to be a little tougher. But I'm glad to see the UFC take at least an additional step here to try to get down on that. I mean, listen, tennis, we've known long, one-on-one sports, it's guys are going to try to get to other guys. Guys are going to try to pass along information. It's always going to be one of those things. UFC, obviously, one-on-one sport. You can talk about a guy that looked terrible in camp, whatever, is actually going to fight with an injury. A weight cut was terrible, whatever it might be. There's inside information that can help as well. But I'm glad to see the UFC just stepping up and at least adding another layer here.
Yeah, Matt, and to add a little bit of background to that Prohibit product, that's co-founded by Matt Holt, who's behind US Integrity. And this is a product that has been getting some push from them. They're not the only ones in the market, but it is being more widely adopted, not only by UFC, but we've seen a number of press releases recently where collegiate conferences are signing up as well in the wake of the Iowa State, and Alabama scandals as well. And I think, Matt, what I would say to you in particular is that I'm glad we're catching the dumb people, right? Like, I'm glad that we're catching the dumb people now, because it allows us to refine everything. And hopefully at the point where smarter people, more sophisticated people are trying to game things that can be caught in the regulated market, that we're able to do that in the U.S. legal regulated market, much the same way that it used to just be Vegas sports books working on these things in the past, catching point shaving scandals when it came to college basketball and so on. Like, we've had the dumbest of the dumb. The Brad Bohannon situation is ridiculous, where some guy showing up to a sports book inside a ballpark with $100,000 trying to get down on a college baseball game. Like, that is every red flag that you can wave in the air to a sports book employee. It's like a bad training exercise to get them to recognize that something is going on. And so a lot of these things are being caught, even if after the fact. And now you're seeing products being developed to try to refine the methods of being able to find people who do these things. And hopefully it means that when we get down the line and these things are a little better hidden, which they're going to be, people are going to try them, that it's caught in a manner that is good for the regulated market.
And Dustin, one of the things I think it's worth pointing out, right? I mean, the sports books do play a role in trying to curb and limit this stuff as well, right? I mean, the smaller tennis tournaments, the super undercard fights, all the stuff like that, like the limits are way, way, way smaller than they are on kind of the main card fights and all that, because listen, it's way easier for you to, and look, it is what it is. I mean, it's way easier to maybe get to a guy playing, the first round of a super low level tennis tournament where he's only going to make a few $100 anyway, than it is to get to the guy who's fighting a main event on a UFC pay-per-view. So, I mean, like they've also done pretty well trying to curb all this because the juices aren't the squeeze, like trying to bribe a guy where you can only get a couple $100 down on a fight anyway, or a couple $100 down on a tennis match anyway, doesn't really make any sense. And so they've helped out along the way with all of this, but still any addition that we can continue and add layers to make this way harder on people. And as Adam said, to catch the dumb ones who continue to do it no matter what is okay by me.
Yeah, and remember, at the end of the day, this is not in the best interest of sports books to have their bets questioned, right? They want they want up and up. They want people who are supposed to be betting, people who are not supposed to be not betting. I mean, heck, there's regulations in some states that that you're saying you're supposed to take some level of care to make sure that athletes aren't betting against bylaws or what have you, right? So that's part of it. And I also look at these and I'm wondering, why is this just now happening 5 years 5 years later? Like, this, again, we should be like, it's kind of wild to me that we're just now seeing this product get adopted. And yeah, I'm getting a US Integrity or Prohibet PR, it seems like, daily in my inbox. And it's like, great, we're getting adoption now. I guess I should just not yell about it, but it is wild to me that it's just like 2023. We're just now starting to do this. We should have been, somebody should have been outlining this product or calling for its creation, like, as soon as the spigot got turned on for legal sports betting, but better late than never.
And Adam, let's put a bow on this one as we do head into the NFL season. Cooler heads did not prevail in the Jameson Williams case. He is going to enter this season with a 6-game suspension, despite the fact that he didn't bet at an actual team facility. He didn't bet on the NFL either. He just happened to be in a hotel, which the NFL has said, if you're in a hotel that's being paid for by the team, that is then, in fact, a de facto team facility. So he gets the 6-game suspension here. But as we head in, look, there's going to be more guys that are going to do this over the course of the season. I implore you, maybe if you were an NFL player, to just not bet at all during the season. Like, it's just like, you got other things to concentrate on with all that. But I think, the message that we've really tried to get out too is, I hope we can come to an agreement that some things are far more egregious than others. And while you should certainly punish people if they break the rules, because rules are rules are rules. And I get that. And I'm not going to say that you should have carte blanche to do whatever you want to, but again, not betting on your sport in a hotel out of town is not the same as betting on your team or against your team or something else in your sport and all that. We have to be able to decipher between these things. And as we head into NFL season, we're only going to hear more of these things come up. More guys are going to get caught because they're going to be stupid. And I just hope the punishment actually fits the crime as opposed to this blanket thing that we kind of have going on right now.
Well, what I hope, Matt, is that we're at the point now where you don't worry so much about what the rules are, because they are what they are. The NFL Competition Committee meets in the off season to decide what rules are going to be changed for the year. And then no matter how good or bad the rules are during the year, they're going to live out the year with the rule. And that's kind of where we are when it comes to betting right now, right? You can either like it or not, but we're at the point where the rule is what it is. And you would hope guys are not going to affect the futures of their teams by being involved in this. And we've heard from what's come out of camp that a lot of players have said that we feel like the NFL did a better job educating us this year than they have in the past. Now, does that just mean they were more aware because the hammer came down on other guys and they were listening a little more intently this time? Certainly could be that. It might not be that the NFL was deficient. It might be that they were. We don't really know that. But what we know at this point is that our Mike Mazzeo has been asking the NFL almost on the daily, are we done with the 2022 gambling suspensions? Like, have we heard the last of that? And they're not really being clear about it. But I have to think we're at the point where the NFL wants the storyline to be about nothing but what's going on the field, and that we've gotten everything from 2022 out of the way, and that hopefully we are at the point where from September to January, September to February, we're going to be okay when it comes to this kind of news in terms of real-time stuff. So is that a hope? Yes. Is that a fact? Probably not, but we shall see.